Countdown starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host, Superman in the house, as we say. Great to see everybody. Hope you guys are going to have a great day today. We're going to get into, obviously, exploring crypto. We're going to be covering, obviously, the stock market overnight, commodities, economic news. We're going to kick it into the major cryptos, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then, of course, we're going to jump over the Pulse chain and look at some of the news that's out. So we'll talk about that coming up, so look forward to it. And there's going to be a lot of info on the old Pulse chain side, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got Hexavator in the house. Hey gang, good to see Hexavator. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's kick it in straight away into the show. So let's start over with the. So these are Thursday's results, and we can see at the moment stocks in lower in choppy session after Netanyahu there. Says Iran can't enrich uranium, so they're pretty confident they've blown up or buried most of their production, or pretty much all their production capacity there. We got the indices at the moment for the stock market. The close for the Dow Jones was down 0.44%, 203 points to 46,022. The S&P 500 was down just over 0.25%. 18 points to 6,600, and the Nasdaq there down just over 0.25% as well, 61 points to 22,090. So obviously over the last month there, during the war, which has been going for 20 days, let's say 20 days, excuse me, and we've gone on the Nasdaq. We've gone essentially pretty choppy, as you can see, over the last month, with the high being 23,000. So we're down over 1,000 points. With the S&P 500. We're down from 20th of February, we're at 6,900. We're down to 66, so we're down about 350 points almost. And then with the Dow there, we're down right from the beginning, down from 29,200. We're down at 46,000. So a pretty big drop, right? Pretty big drop. I think we can all agree. So there we go. We got the US dollar at the moment is up a third, so we're still at 99.12. So not too much strange there with the US, with the risk off. VIX has cooled off a bit, down to 24, down 4%. So a bit flat, but more flat than one might expect. A lot of the drama seems to be dying down a little bit there. And we got the West Texas there at $94, down 1%, and Brent oil still elevated at 107, but certainly lower. And that was because they thought that the US might do export controls. Remember, the US is pretty much, I think, a net exporter now since Trump came in. They've basically been exporting oil. Really, the Strait of Hormuz stuff, all that oil going through there is the people that are threatened by it are largely China, India, Japan, and Europeans. They're the ones that get most of the oil through there. So they're actually the ones with the most impact, where America there is pretty self-sufficient. So any net exports there were getting, creating a price differential, I guess, between Brent oil and West Texas. The other thing, of course, there are other oil prices around the world depending on where you're buying from. So that's something else to note. And so you get disparities there too. So gold at the moment, but the White House denied that they were going to have any export controls. So that sort of premium started slightly disappearing, let's say. Gold at the moment it's certainly been taken down, 4,650, and we've got silver at $72. So gold down 1% and silver down, gold up 1%, silver down 2%, but that's down quite a bit overnight. So let's have a look at the last month on gold. We can see that gold was all the way up here on the 2nd of March at 5,400, guys. So it's down a lot. So what's that? $750, and it's all the way down at the moment, just having a little bounce at the moment. Silver was all the way up here at 95, so it's down about $23. And there we are at 72. Still pretty elevated from where it was, a year ago. year ago. It was all the way down here, as you guys remember, around $30. So it's still, 2x, over 2x that. So that's kind of where silver is. Obviously, we talked about, taking profits anywhere in the 75 to 125 zone, taking profits while that was on. So hopefully, people can do what they want, but hopefully that people did take some profits. The problem when you get a big run like that is that you get gold fever, ironically enough, right? So you get gold fever and you don't sell. Same thing happens in crypto. People ride it up the top and then ride it down the other side. And then they got to wait a couple more years, kind of thing. So remember to take some profits when you see some big money in the play. What's happening all? We've got Peter in the house. Hey, good to see you, Peter. Peter's doubling up there. I don't know how you got the double up, but good to see you, Peter. Welcome. All right, so don't forget to hit the repost button on X to share the show around. We're just warming up here, so hit the repost button. Helps a lot. It only takes a second to do, and it's free. That's the good news. So that's kind of where we are with the commodities. I won't go too much through the economic content today, but obviously, they're talking about they won't have any uranium in Iran to produce. The production facilities have been blown up or buried. The other one, of course, is we've got Canada in place. Good old Carney Canada. That globalist nut job. That's all I can say. So you got him in the play. And so we've got oil there. Now the funny thing is that none of the Europeans wanted to come and participate in to support Trump in the getting rid of the big nuclear threat in Iran. None of them wanted to come. This is the sort of crazy Europeans that we've got. So they want to send all their the Europeans off to some random war over in Ukraine, but they don't want to support. So we'll see whether they start capitulating for oil, since that's where most of them are getting oil there. So we'll see. We'll see how that all plays out. All right, so that's where we are right now on all that. So that's kind of the economic news. We won't go through interest rates, but obviously interest rates had an impact on the market as well, with the no change and hawkish outlook, right? Hawkish outlook there. All right, I still say that interest rates should be cut. I know we saw the PPI number up. We had weak employment, and it's impacting GDP as well. I still think it should be done minimum 50 basis points on the rate cut. So we'll see how that plays out. But Jerome Powell there, I think, is continuing to make a mistake there. Citing uncertainty, right? Citing uncertainty, but actually we should have lower rates closer to the actual inflation data, which is between 2.7 and 3.1%. And we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, oil's going to have a bit of a bip, but I think it's going to be short-lived. Maybe a couple more weeks, we'll see. All right, so that is the crypto market. Sorry, the investment market. Crypto market, on the other hand, we got Baseline in the house. Say good morning, yo. Hey, great to see you in the house there. Like your thumbnail, or what's it? Your profile picture there, profile icon, looking good. We've got the total market right now, 2.48 trillion. We're still a really small market, guys. I mean, honestly, when crypto runs, it's going to be truly glorious. And remember to take some profits. Okay. So we've been stuck around this 2.5 trillion for a long time. We are potentially coming out of the crypto winter. So we're going to talk about that with Tom Lee. I hope you guys enjoy that. Bitcoin at the moment is sitting just on the 70,000 mark, just below it by about 39 cents. It's down 1.98%. Let's do a refresh, see whether it's at 70. Yeah, there we go. That's all you have to do is refresh your browser, and you get increase in Bitcoin. That's it. So down 1.3% though, still overnight, but sitting at $70,173. So holding on to that 70K mark. Ethereum at 21.46, down 2.2% for the day. We got XRP down 1% at $1.45. BNB down 1.7% at $640 at number 5. Number 7 is Solana down 1% at $89.22. Tron is pretty flat at 30.4 cents. We got Dogecoin there sitting at number 10, down 1.6% at 93. Just under 9.4 cents. Interesting, at number 9 is Figure Hallock. It's back at $1. It had been up over that, like $3, $4, but it's back at $1 there. Those are the top 10. Best performer would be, I guess, Tron at flat. Tron's flat. A best performer over the last week is Tron 2. So it's taken over from Ethereum, and it's up 5.2%, followed by XRP, still up 4.5%, and then Ethereum 3.9 for the week. Top performer in the top 100, we've got Siren there at the moment, number one, up 39%, almost 40%. BitTensor Towers been a bit of a trend at the moment, up 28%. Casper up 24%. Number 3, Mincore up 24%. Number 4, and Artificial Superintelligence up 21%. Those are your top 5 in the top 100 right now. Top 1,000 gainers, Trillions, Evelyn, and Unif AI. So they're doing pretty well. In fact, Trillions there apparently is up 4,300%. So that's doing pretty spectacular. Trending overall, BitTensor, Templar, and World Liberty Financial. Those are the trending overall on CoinGecko. So that's kind of the mark there on the old crypto. We're going to zoom in a little bit on Bitcoin. This is the hourly chart on Bitcoin. So you see it's been quite choppy. We had a nice range of around 71,000. It was on the hourly. We obviously had that capitulation earlier. And how long ago was that? That was, we basically sold off there. We got all the way down. So we actually had a 7.4% correction over a day and 5 hours on Bitcoin. And that went down, but we are climbing back up, back over the 70k mark, which is a psychological level there as well. Obviously 72 would be pretty key to get over 72, so we want to get back over that. And yeah, that's the drama that we had. So yeah, 7.4% correction, pretty decent. So we see where we go. We'll go. We had that recent high too, up at 76k. So it's pretty damn volatile, but that's what you get for the best performing market. Yeah, from the 76k down to the 68,800, that is a 9.5% correction in 2.5 days. So welcome to crypto, guys. You guys know that often 10, 20 days of the year, probably 20 days of the year, is when money is made and lost in big numbers on the old crypto. Baseline says my PFP is actually a day's Doge. The collection will be launched when the chain pops off. You can have a quick look at the web if you're interested there. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, let us know. Pulse on Pace Chain too. Okay, cool. Yeah, that'd be great. Let us know. All right, so that is where Bitcoin is right now. Let's go to the daily and have a look at the daily chart. That's the hourly action. I think it's been pretty brutal on the hourly. On the daily there, we're at 70,200. We obviously have 3 red days in a row after having a beautiful run, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. Beautiful increase there. What was that? That was a pretty decent little run. Up a 13.5% in a week. But then we came all the way, it's actually higher, didn't it? Because we went up to 76. So from that local there, we went up to 15.5%, my bad, 15.5%, and we've come all the way down there about 2/3. So there we go. But we've still got higher lows in there, guys. We've still got higher lows and higher highs in there. So we've got a bit of a channel running. We've got that thing going on. So we've still got this sort of thing going on. So kind of good. Is it the end of the crypto winter? Well, we're going to ask Tom Lee. Wait for that. So that is where we are right now. Moving to Ethereum. Ethereum at the moment, we've got the 2,100. This is a 1 hour. This is 1 hour chart as well. So we recent high was at 2,388. We came all the way back down to 12% inside 2.5 days, just like Bitcoin. 12.5%, a bit more aggressive though. I think Bitcoin would be saying 9.5%, so we're down 12.5 here. And we're getting a bit of a rise off the bottom. So we got down to just broke 2,098 or something, and we're back up at 2,146. Is this the end of the crypto winter? That's the question, and we're going to answer that soon. Stay tuned. What else do we got? We got Ethereum right now. We have got Ethereum at what were we saying about Ethereum? We got Ethereum there on the daily. We punched over the 50, and we have just obviously got pushed back down below 50. And because we're above the 50, we're over the 21. I think you've got to add a 21 EMA. Yeah. Well, I've only got the public version, so I can only have 2 EMAs. I just chose the 50 and the 200 at the moment. So we got the 2146 at the moment. Yeah. So that's kind of where we are on there. So we're trying to get back over the 50 moving average, and we're at 2,212 right now. So we haven't quite gone back into the channel yet, right? So we haven't gone down back into that low channel. We are basically at the top of it. So hopefully that's going to be support for our jump off the top there. And so that brings us up into, I think it brings us up into Tom Lee. I think it does. So this is Tom Lee. Let me expand it a little bit here. So Tom Lee just did in Asia somewhere, probably Hong Kong or something. Just did a nice little presentation. If you're in Strategy Club, I would have posted the presentation in there already. So if you're in Strategy Club, you would already have that presentation. All I'd say, if you want to join Strategy Club, you can hit the QR code below me on the video there and join up today. It's just over $1 a day, fantastic value. You get all the intel as it flows. We have lots of chat discussions and targets and all sorts of stuff in there. So it's really great, and you can find the links to Strategy Club in the video description, or pinned to the top of Whoop Store, and top of X, and you'll just go through the Whoop Store, join up, and we'll see you in the Discord private club. All right, so let's listen to Tom Lee's perspective here.
Bitmine works with an advisor named Tom DeMark. He's a legendary market timer. And he's provided an analysis to us that says Ethereum in the last few months, especially since October, is really mirroring what happened to the S&P 500 in 2011 and what happened to the S&P 500 in 1987. If you were involved in U.S. markets, both times marked major declines in the S&P. Well, according to him, there's a 93% correlation to what Ethereum's doing today to what the S&P did in 1987. And in 1987, if you apply that same forecast, Ethereum would have bottomed on March 7th. And if we're correlating this to the 2011 episode, Ethereum is bottoming today. So using his analysis, we think we're at the bottom or exiting the crypto winter now. And another way to think of it is this measure called realized price. It's very popular with doing the same math for Bitcoin, but we're doing it for Ethereum. Realized price is looking at the blockchain and looking at the average purchase price of Ethereum. So currently, on the Ethereum blockchain, the average purchase price is $2,241 for Ethereum. And if we look at the two most recent lows in 2022 and last year, Ethereum traded at a 39% discount to the realized price in 2022 and a 21% discount in 2025. In other words, your average position was in a loss of 21%. Currently, we're at 22%. So we're at the level where in 2025, Ethereum started to turn higher. And finally, before you lose any hope, keep in mind over the last 10 years, okay, Ethereum has outperformed every other asset class over the past decade. So in the last 10 years, Ethereum's return is 49,000%. That means almost 490 times your money. Bitcoin was 11,000%, which is great. That's 100 times your money. But look, even something like NVIDIA, which has been, of course, the single best stock in the US, it only returned 65 times your money. So again, Ethereum has been a great store of value. And again, we think we're at the end of the crypto winter.
All right, so that there was a little insight video from Tom Lee, indicating that we are exiting the crypto winter. So there we go. So there's a bit of good news there. So let's get into Pulse Chain then. We got Craig Pitt now. So Craig, good to see you. Morning all. And let's get into it. So we've got Pulse Chain on day 1043. Pulse Chain, of course, is a full system stake fork of Ethereum. And that was based on the 10th of May 2023, and it launched a couple of days later on the 30th of May 2023, and here we are 1043 days later, and we got Pulse at the moment at 50913. down 0.6%. So we're not down a big time today. Well, this is probably good news. We're still below that 401. So we haven't been able to beat out that 401 yet and start heading on the way up. PulseX at the moment, 50704, holding up not too bad, up 1.3%. And then we've got Ink Token at the moment is at just under 40 cents, down 3.5%. Hex on Pulse Chain is sitting at 1600th of a penny, down 1.6%, and EHEX is sitting at 0006 right now. Combined price of EX and PX is sitting down at 2200th of a penny, so pretty cheap to get Hex right now. The buy and burn, before I forget, is sitting at 8.72%. Not too bad. It's on the slow increase there, and that helps over time, right? That helps over time. Moving to the gas prices, we're sitting at 738,000 beats. That's a bit lower than what we had over the last week or so. We're sitting at 0.2 of a penny for a PulseX swap, so nice and cheap to do business on Pulse Chain. We're at 52,649 validators, pretty much what we've had for about a week, I think. We've got the bridge values. Let's have a look. 70.3. We're down about 100k, 200k from yesterday, so we're slightly down, but still holding that 70 million mark. Did I say K? 70 million mark, I think we are. Hex Creators in the house is pretty excited. Woohoo, let's go. Yeah, holding that 70 mil. That's important. It's important. Right, so that is the overview of Pulse Chain. Let's jump over into the markets. And the title of the video has got ProveX rally ends. It got rolled over. It doesn't mean it's going to not have another one. It might have another one, but it's just got rolled over. I posted the X post yesterday when a big giant seller, what was it, almost $500 million, sold that down, and that was kind of signaling they kind of worked out, oh, this looks like it's bottoming. We're gonna set the top there and a lower high, and then it rolled over essentially after that. So let's look what that means, that because we had a lot of rotation, so people had rotated to some degree, and I haven't done all the mapping, but it's just intuition there based on what happened, is that some of the top projects where people had been making money, they had rotated those into the ProveX because that was the hot thing from Richard Hart, which is fair enough, right? Fair enough. But that means that the top tier projects all got a bit of a licking, right? Bit of a beat up, and so let alone Pulse Chain. So we've got SCADA right now up at 10.6%. We've got Whale Bay up 7.5%, number 2. True Farms is at 85 cents. It's up a little bit there. Oh, it's just swapped around. PCC the Greys, yeah, they're True Farm coming back again, up 7%. Look at that moving around. Boy, it's a crazy little thing moving around there. We've got PCC the Greys, though, has done some recovery, so 6.5%. This is the beginning of something good for the old PTC. Now, they've got a big community. They've got a lot of influencers. They've got good incentive plans with their new referral program. So, they're up 6.5. They're the first DAO on Pulse Chain. So, one of what we'd call our premier projects. That's up 6.5%. UFO is their baby child, let's say. That's up 6.5% as well. So, PTC to UFO getting a nice recovery there right now. We do have some of the ones that are also hooked into PCock. So we've got PCock there. We've got Zero Trust up 2.8%. We did have the PCock PSR and slightly in the money. So I think they're sitting at almost 1400th of a penny, down up about 1.8%. So those are kicking off at the moment. And so, yeah, those are the kind of a little bit of a comeback at the moment. Just the beginning, maybe. Just the beginning, the warming up for a rally on those. We'll see. We'll see how ProveX, whether it has another bounce. It's definitely rolled over for the time being. We're going to look at ProveX in a minute. And will the top premier tokens like PCock and pTGC, etc., and the ones that are all hooked into them, go on a bit of a rally now? We shall see. That would include potentially the Richard Cause as well. That all got got siphoned out because a lot of ProveX LP was all in stablecoins and wrapped ETH. Right? There's more pairs now, of course, and Pulse and stuff, and third-party projects, but certainly the bulk of it was in the stablecoin. An island within an island, within a world. I don't know. You guys decide. But that's kind of where we are. We've got quite a few in slightly green. Top hat there, almost 1%. So we've got little ones here. We've got 29 that are in the green to be total, and you can basically see which ones they are. So there we go. We've got a few of those going on. Everything else kind of in the red. anything greater than 2/3% is essentially doing worse than Pulse Chain. So I guess that's 64 coins in the top 100, 64 trading pairs, I should say, in the top 100 trending. So 2/3 doing worse than Pulse. Hex still doing worse than Pulse. Vouch doing worse than Pulse. Liquid Loans doing worse than Pulse. Doubt doing worse than Pulse. Incentive Token doing worse than Pulse. I could always make a song. Everybody's doing worse than Pulse. Something like that. Anyway, okay, didn't quite get there. We got the P Tiger there down 9% there. Investor down 12%, $1.50, so getting hit quite big there from the OG Web Chef. But ProveX is all the way down here, guys. It's down about 13-14%, which is not too bad after the big rally, but certainly rolled over. Let's have a look at the big trading pair. We're going to go to USDC. That's the big one, 1.2 mil. So it's still well up on the LP. So remember, it started for about $1 million, I think, remember rightly. Still at 1.2, but it got rolled over, and we saw that last night, right? So when it saw it roll over, and we had a lower high, right? That's the first indication, guys. Lower high. This is on the hourly charts, by the way. There's the hourly candles. We got a lower high there. We got the 21 moving average as well. Something that Baseline was mentioning before. So we broke the 21, and that was not good news. We had lower highs as well. And down we came. We had some pretty big wicks too, a big volume wick, only about, about 10 hours ago. That was a pretty big one. What do we have? 230,000. That's just in this pair. It doesn't include all the other pairs. So that was a pretty big sell down there. And we had a little rise back. We had another lower high at 11.48. So we peaked out essentially at 13.85. So we didn't get to some of the higher targets of 15.5 or 16.5, and then we got to, we had a slightly lower one here at 13.42, and then down we came, and the last one we had 4 hours ago was 11.46. So down we come. Remember, there's a lot of people in the money, right? And the thing, what happens here is that once it starts collapsing and rotating, the momentum goes to the downside, right? People start climbing on each other to sell down, just like they climbed on each other to buy. So it's going to play there. We got Crypto Jackson House. Hey, Crypto Jax, good to see it. Smash the like and subscribe. Definitely do that. ETH Gwei at 0.047 staked some X today for under a penny C6 value. That's nice. That's pretty cool, man. So we're sitting right at the moment. We're sitting on 0001, and the other interesting thing is we're coming down to this wick. So we had this wick like 9-10 hours ago, and we're actually, the chart's coming down to that, which happens a lot, right? So which was that sitting at 960, which is I think pretty close to where Brenton, our TA guru, said yesterday he thought it could go down to. So he might be on the money. He does it a lot of time. He does get on the money there. So yeah, we're sitting, if we go to the 4 hourly chart, I think this is the 21 moving average on the 4 hour, and that's kind of where we are right now. So 1,000, that'd be interesting. So yeah, but let's see. I think he had 96, which is where that wick went to. We'll see how we get on there. On the hourly, and of course, I don't know, the daily there, we've only got a few days. We haven't got any really moving averages yet, but that is the best play is the 4 hour. We've got a 21 moving average on the 4 hour, and we're on that right now. So really kind of want to hold that. Also, we're at 1,000 too, so we want to hold that. So where does that leave everything? Well, you know, we're back at the base sacrifice price, which is this yellow line, right? So we're back at that. So we've got convergence of everything here right now. And let's see where we are. We've still got these guys in the Buckamentals group. If their price is 3,200, which 40 is 3,200, then we're still up 216%. So there's still a lot of money in there. So a lot of money sitting on the table. Sean said, what's the buy fib on ProveX, Superman? What's the buy fib on ProveX? The buy fib on ProveX. I guess we're gonna go to. Depends on when you take it from, but you're talking about a fib extension. I guess you're talking about. Let's see. I don't know where we're going to take it from here, but depends on where you take it. Well, we're sitting on it at 9965. If I take the bottom there, so 9965, but 38 would be 9,000. So I got 9,000. I'll take the 9,038. So somewhere between 9,000 and where we are now. We'll see. Assuming I took it from the right place. All right, where did we go there? What happened? What happened with the? We lost that. Baseline says 110, 122 million market would be 61.85 on the fib. Well, you know, I think that the valuations are way too high. I think the valuation, just from not from a fib point of view, but from a qualitative point of view, I think it should be down here at 60 to 75 mil. But that doesn't take into the Richard Hart factor. So 110, 120, yeah. So I think that's reasonable, man. I think that's baseline. I think that's actually reasonable, you know, using that idea. It's probably reasonable, 110, 122. What else there? Thanks, says Sean. You're welcome. You got two different numbers there. How about that? All right, so that is a ProveX. So yeah, definitely rolling over at the moment. Certainly, you know, this 96 probably definitely a chance it might hit that. And then it's just a matter of you know, the momentum that the people selling down, right? That momentum. But I'd say, let's say 96, 97 at the moment. But that 9,000 probably, you know, maybe the bottom of the move, maybe as the bottom scenario, like the, what do you call it, the bear scenario. That'd be get pretty similar to where baseline's market cap is. All right, let's jump away from that. So that's ProveX. We do have some news, so we're going to jump to the news. And the news at the moment is Richard Hart. He's put out V1.1.4. So PulseX V1.1.4 is out now and offers better rates for many things by routing through ProveX liquidity. So they're going through that too now. Very cool. Nice one, Richard. ProveX is added in the defaults. Nice. Shout out to Batias for showing that PulseX could improve its routing logic to give better rates by going through ProveX pairs. Beware that searching Batias in some search engines gives a drainer bad as the first result. Also, the price chart has been added to ProveX.com. So there we go. Let's go have a look at that. ProveX.com, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Buy ProveX. Fix. There's the chart. Woohoo! That's pretty cool. There's the chart right now. Looking good. These are all the things that it can disintermediate and copy. Richard Hart explains ProveX. You can check that out as well. That's also in the Monster thread if you haven't seen that on the Monster thread post. The killer exchange. The seller approves, the buyer approves, math settles it. Nice. That's essential of the technology. There is a beta version, like the beta version is running, so we've got the launch app. Let's quickly launch it. Got the beta version. You have to agree to all these terms. I don't agree. I don't know, can we hit that? Oh well, it's there. You can go and check it out. But that is the beta version right now. Cool runnings. All right, so still early days. I myself would discount the market cap, you know, down, like I say, down to 60 to 75 mil, probably 75 mil at the top end, because, you know, technology is still beta and got to see some adoption and all the rest of it. That's a sort of my fundamental view. That is the news from Richard. I don't know if we got anything else from Richard. Let's have a look, see whether you got anything else out there. But that is good news. Congratulations. Well, I'll repost that one actually. And that's that. So let's jump away to CryptoSolve. So CryptoSolve has been, you know, typically does data analysts, your blockchain analysis type of guy. He says there appears to be quite a flurry of DEX development happening on Polestream right now, and we've covered quite a bit of this, including the ability to finally have reliable limit orders. And reliable is probably the key word, right? Reliable limit orders. Here's a few. Well, Brandon, you know, a big Polestream influencer, and also, you know, leads the development team. They got Switch.win, and they have just launched limit orders this week. There's a huge step forward for Polestream, and that is a big deal because, you know, having we had a few limit order providers. I haven't really used too many of them, but you know, it's good to see we've got getting a big broad range of limit orders which is cool. Switch there on Pulse Chain. When you see a limit order, a contract holds your coins until it either fills or you cancel the order. This is a little different to how they're sometimes handled on other chains, where you just sign a transaction, the coins don't leave your wallet until the order fills. They can answer any technical questions there. So that is from Switch. Liberty Swap Fi, of course, appeared to be getting close to releasing their cross-chain limit orders. We've been talking about this the last couple of days as part of their Liberty X, which is kind of their swapping aggregation site. And of course, they've been refining that, and they've got limit orders coming soon. We're unclear how they plan to handle the orders. That will leave them to detail the technical aspects. PTS, of course, the DEX aggregator, #1 on Pulse Chain, are supposed to be rolling out some improvements to the aggregator that allows them to handle tax tokens better. It's always been an issue for them. Well, I don't think you have that issue for Switch. Switch doesn't have that issue, I'm pretty sure. And I don't think Liberty Swap does from memory. But looking forward to seeing this rolled out. Useful for those that are neck deep in tax tokens, yeah. We got Agora there, have recently developed an OTC marketplace with their multi-asset trades available. The trades appear to be entirely OTC. It's over the counter there, manual rather than traditional limit orders filled as DEX prices move through ranges. But the platform is particularly useful for illiquid or uncommon pairings. Don't take any of this as financial advice as usual. But I don't know if we've really looked at Angora, so we'll have a quick look there. There's a peer-to-peer limit order DEX, zero slippage there. So got a small following at the moment. Use as you can, but you know, when you're using any sites, use some sort of DGN site to interact with things, regardless of, you know, the brand, the profile, and all that. Just always keep yourself safe in crypto. All right, so that is some big news around limit orders. That's a big deal for Pulse Chain, right? Big deal. And we had a big improvement with PulseX. So some good stuff happening around the DEXs and you know, liquidity switching and stuff. You know, Pulse Chain's maturing. Isn't it? Pulse Chain's maturing. And talk about maturing, we got Liberty Swap. You know, I call it the Kraken of Pulse Chain. And they are doing a lot of great stuff. So let's see what they've been doing overnight. Now, they announced that USD1, so this is the Eric Trump stablecoin, and this is rising through the ranks. I think they're at about $4.5 billion of issuance right now. $4.5 billion, and they are going to be enabling USD1 from BNB chain to come to Pulse Chain. Isn't that great? So that's really exciting stuff. I think I got a response to me. I go, OMG, that's great news. USD1 coming to Pulse Chain. Eric Trump, yeah, and it will be gasless and fully sponsored, says Liberty Swap. So that's really neat. Kind of cool. Trump at the end is the king of the peacocks. Let him in, inviting him to the flock. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not, right? So there we go. That is USD1 there. Cool. That's great. So what else we have on there at the moment? Yeah, 10 hours ago, USD1 is currently more dominant on BNB chain, and the main DEX on BNB chain supports its trading pair, and so it would be reasonable to open and fully support USD1 on Liberty Swap. Since the stablecoin supports EIP 2612 permits, we could make all transactions gasless and sponsor the gas fee for every transaction from USD1 BNB chain to and from Pulse Chain. Now, the cool thing about that is that you also want to you know, people are tagging BNB in the Pulse Chain community. You know, you can tag in USD1, and once you start doing a bit more tagging, I guess it will just help get the word out there too. This is how you bootstrap liquidity, meet users where they are, remove friction, capture flow, gasless bridging, and stablecoin rails equals inevitable adoption. Yeah, really good point. True, we want to offer the best and most convenient way to access Pulse Chain. Slowly but surely, all the pieces of the puzzle come together, and that's right. So, you know, Pulse Chain did have quite a few hurdles for capital flow, and you know, a lot of those are being, you know, removed, which is fantastic. So, you know, what's today's show? Turning into a real maturity part of Pulse Chain, which is kind of cool. We still get immaturity in trading, but we still got we're getting maturity in utility. How about that? And that plays out. You know, it lags, but it flows into value over time. Kind of cool. All right, so that is some good stuff there from USD1. Bring in the Trump assets. 10 hours ago, all the changes in PulseX routing via ProveX have been reflected on Liberty X instantly. A guaranteed best price of building on Richard Hart's update, I guess. Guaranteed best price, no fees whatsoever with MEV bot prediction. Platform with zero bias or favor towards any routes. Just price sources with better output. Imagine still trading on PulseX if it has a better price with free swap, gas, and no bot attacks. That's the advantages of Liberty X there over PulseX in this case. So there we go. That is the deal there. Kind of cool. Got a few comments. When Morbius coming home, we have tax token support. We're changing some parameters to protect orders. Yeah, Morbius there, Rising Gaming protocol on Bolstream. Does PCock also have buy and burn? PCock has a buyback mechanism. Now we're simply sending those buybacks to a dead address, effectively creating a burn. We planned this for Liberty X through the SDK for market makers. But now Liberty Swap is doing the buybacks. Okay, there was a little bit update about the buybacks on the old PCock. Let's scroll down. Oh, we actually got Richard Hart there too. So we got Petius as well, which we discovered in an update from CryptoSolve. By the way, what Richard pointed out is really important. Please stay away from fake and impersonating domains. Make sure you're using app.petius.io. Unfortunately, Google Ads has been pretty careless with their scammers. Now, look, Google Ads actually support scammers. I mean, there should be a class action against Google because they allow a lot of scamming ads to go through. A lot, for years. I mean, it should be something that you should be able to get Google done. They need to be done over for all the scams. I mean, they've let probably people get ripped off for billions of dollars. I wouldn't be surprised. It's really bad, and they just are unresponsive to the problem. So, reported model sponsored links impersonating a domain before, so please be careful. Yeah, and I almost think it just lands on deaf ears. I really do. I guess some sort of a class action or something needs to be done against Google Ads. Security is everything, and like we always say, you only protect yourself. Yeah, well, at the end of the day. What else? 9 hours ago, the weekend is coming with a ton of upgrades, and this is what we like to hear from the old Liberty Swap. Cool stuff. Sean says he's watching ZKP closely for buy position. Okay, Sean, nice one. What's it? Baseline says nice dip in the ZKP as well. That just hit a 50% retrace after the massive bump. Yeah, well, we're going to have I didn't look at ZKP, but we might go back and have a look at that. That's you buy ZKP. It's from a Kairos project from Emmett Farm. You stake it and then you earn ProveX. Yeah. Morbius has great tokenomics. Love to DCA into it with Plinko Kick, says Baseline. Yeah, so Morbius is doing gaming like poker and stuff. I think that's from Kyle. Kyle's the developer there, a long time Pulsican. So yeah, we're going to check that out. We're going to try and cover it more in the future because we like gaming, you know, and gaming. So that is it on that one. This weekend is coming with a ton of upgrades for Liberty X, Liberty Shield, and Liberty Swap. And so remember, Liberty X is that DEX aggregator on Pulse Chain. Liberty Swap allows you to swap between chains. Liberty Shield is giving you privacy, doing all that sort of stuff. So, some great products. We're working on documentation for ZKX wallet, a wallet that no one can gatekeep, designed for privacy and private trading. And this is going to be huge, guys. This is coming up. So, I know quite a few people are crying over the rotation of PCock, fair enough, into ProveX and whatever else. But actually, this is a big deal coming up, and they'll be happy after that, I guess. We are committed to making Pulse Chain trading accessible using new and up-to-date technology while minimizing risks for our users to take by taking on and managing the risks ourselves. So there we go. So I'm going to have to repost that. That's a good post. Even Runify in there. Weekend upgrades across Liberty X. Yeah, nice. They're pretty excited about that. The old Rhino. Keep up the great work there. What else they got there? Any other Emmett in there? Shipping across multiple products at once isn't easy. Respect to teams actually pushing the stack forward. Yeah. Bullish, says Richard Schiller. You should do a sacrifice for it, make some rage quit. I would like to announce sack. Got the evil Liberty lady. That's funny. All right, so nice stuff happening there. What else have we got there? I guess I'm looking through some of this. I always like reading through the comments because you never know what sometimes they drop some extra stuff, So that is pretty much them, I think. You're appreciated. Yeah, you're on the right track. We are. So you got a lot of, how many teams on Pulse Chain have a lot of this, all this positive sentiment? Well, it's earned, right? It's earned through bringing in the latest and trying to, follow your words with actions. So, this is where you start getting some maturity and diamond hands in the old Pulse Chain when you got top tier projects that are like this, right? Getting that sort of feedback. 8 hours ago, currently gasless mode on Liberty Swap is temporarily disabled. The upgrades coming will introduce parameters that protect against blockchain reorganization. We're also expanding support assets to include DAI, USD1, USD Tether, not just USDC. Gasless and fully sponsored transactions will return to Liberty apps soon. So a little break there in service to some degree. Pulse Chain meets the PCock dance. They got a new video. There we go with the old PCock. Pretty good animator. I think it's one of the girls on the team. The block 6 hours ago, the Block Explorer issue on Pulse Chain, direct fiat on-ramp, off-ramp with the best price, no slippage, a wallet and portfolio with all trading history and LP positions, low liquidity and risk when earning real yield on Pulse Chain. All these can be resolved with a wallet. So that wallet is coming, guys. Now we do know that Change Now, which is another bridge on Pulse Chain, is also working on a wallet as well. So there's we've got 2 heavyweight wallets coming. Question is Richard coming with a wallet, or is this effectively Richard's wallet? I don't know. We'll find out. Bounce, baby, bounce. Nothing can stop this train. You're in the play. Now, this is going to be a privacy wallet, so it's a pretty big deal. It's going to be that hybrid between a general wallet, hybrid wallet, and I'm not aware that there's any in the market like this. So, good frontier technology. Coming. What else we got? Let's scroll up. I think we're almost up to the latest updates. BTC holders can trade back and forth between native BTC and Pulse Chain assets. It's an intent-based swap powered by near intents, Liberty Swap and Liberty X. So this intent-based trading, is the future, right? So we've got Liberty Swap, Liberty X, we've got ProveX there, we've got the ZKX wallet coming from Liberty Swap there. Now, some of the things that we haven't seen and they haven't talked about since last year, remember, was staking PCock. And earning pump tire coins and other things like that. So they've been very quiet on that whole topic. So I don't know whether they're just waiting for the wallet now or whatever they're doing there. So we'll keep a lookout for any of those old pumpermentals. So they've got a few things out here. So they've just responding to that crypto sov post around limit orders. This week we're launching Liberty X limit orders. But with Permit 2 and intent-based fillers, our design comes with key advantages. Your tokens stay in your wallet until the order is filled, so I like that. I'm sure everyone does. Only the exact amount is used, powered by Permit 2 for secure self-custody trading. No pre-locking, no risk of funds being removed early. 100% gasless, placing and execution. Works for any size, no minimum. Uses both on-chain and off-chain liquidity. Private, your trade is not visible on-chain. The secrets of the world there, kind of cool. So we've got a few examples of how that works. All right, so that's pretty cool. Let's scroll back up here. And I think we're just about getting to the end of the updates. 1 hour ago, we offer a few guarantees for Liberty X. 0 fees during the early stage, the best prices possible. MEV protection. If you have time, please give it a try. Yeah, if you guys haven't tried it, give it a try. That's Pulse X on the left and then Liberty X on the right there. It's got a comparison between 100,000 USDC and you end up with slightly more pulse with the Liberty X in this example compared to Pulse X. So there we go. This is still the same order went through Pulse X, but it's much safer and more efficient. So it's definitely worth, if you're doing that, it's definitely worth comparing. Definitely worth comparing if you have Pulse X up on one, and then I guess it's hard on the phone, but if you're on a computer, having Pulse X up on one tab, whatever it's called, and Liberty X on the other, just to show the comparison there. You could even put Matthias as well over on the right, and you could compare a lot of the big dexes there. Maybe also switch. You have 4 and see which ones you're getting better. Not always easy to update them though, right? The markets can move a bit fast. But that is the play from them. Kind of cool. What else? I guess we should repost that one too. It's a kind of good one. We're reposting Liberty Swap Day. It's Liberty Swap Repost Day. So it's kind of cool. Let me jump back out of there. Oh, what the hell? We lost them. I lost Liberty Swap. I don't know if we'd quite finished. I think we were almost finished. Yeah, we're finished. We're finished. It's done. We're updated on all that. So that's cool. Now let's type in ProveX and let's see whether there's much trending on ProveX. We'll type that in, see what the ProveX is doing much. Well, I'm trending. I'm trending on ProveX. Yay! So there we go. What else? Yeah, not seeing much more there. Hey, I'm trending. I'm still trending. I must be the only one that uses the dollar signs, unless the stupid algorithm is just giving me back myself, which sucks. I hate it when it does that. So let's go have a look at some people. Who's been talking about it? Who has been talking about ProveX? CryptoSolve. We'll start with him. CryptoSolve. We know he's been talking about it. CryptoSolve. Let's see if he's been talking about ProveX. What else there? All right, we got some drama there. I'm going to pass that. We're talking about that. ProveX was intentionally decorrelated for a reason. Reassimilating it back into the wide ecosystem liquidity just serves to act as an anchor on a chart that could otherwise behave independently of the ecosystem. That's why I got back to the point of being an island on an island in the world, I guess is the way I put it. 5 hours there. The crypto Sparbook says price a little lower than hours ago, but more PDI liquidity adding. Obviously that that was pretty exciting. It was the second biggest wallet that added PDI, 50 million PDI or something. So that's ticking away as well. Yeah, 50. That was 22 hours ago. They added the 50 million PDI. The PDI people, they don't give up. They don't give up, that's for sure. Sean says, I'm in now. You little market maker, Sean. You little market maker. And we got baseline says, nice, I compounded. All right. So that is the Sparbook. Little comments there. I think RH Max has been saying a lot of stuff about it, hasn't he? I don't know if I can find him though. I never find him when I look for him. RH Max. Oh, there he goes. I lie. What else there? Now we got. He's talking about some of the same stuff I've been talking about there. Crypto Herbs. Oh, really? He's talking about the update. Well, no, I talked about this, didn't I? Yeah. I think I talked about all this yesterday. But that might have been a nice another piece. If you're after the SEC update around the 5 classifications, and Nuclear Herbs is talking about that. He's sort of the lawyer guy. ProveX looks awesome. There's kind of the upgrades on the website. Yeah, it's looking pretty good, isn't it, actually? What else? Mental Game says, I'm surprised that RH is giving effort to pushing it forward. Yes, of course. That is what we want to see. LPs mainly in stables and ETH. It makes ProveX for now basically unrelated to anything on PulseChain. And ironic as this may sound, it can bring a lot of value to the chain. Not to mention the obvious that it can pump hard along with Ethereum. So that's kind of there. Do we have Bucket Mentals? I think we have Buck. He's for the Bucket Mentals. Mentals. This might be my last search actually. There he goes. He's the one that led the. They have Richard Hutt's back with ProveX. So they got that ended. Yeah. So it doesn't seem to be recorded. They never recorded it. Final reminder: we will have Twitter Space in 3 hours, and they'll be talking about that. So I don't know. It's not recorded, so I don't know what happened there. Let us know in the chat there if you heard it. 14 hours ago. Something about cheating the price, maybe. I don't know. My final ProveX comment space before I go dark like Gunther. Oh, that's a little funny. All right. So that is pretty much that's how we're doing for time. 54 minutes. I think we were going to quickly go back and look at the deck screen, weren't we, just one more time, and see what happens. What's happened there, and we'll see. Oh, we got a bit trigger there. So at the moment, we've still got pretty similar looking at the moment. We've got a little bit of changing of guard. So we've got Scarter, Whale, and True Farm up. PCock's managed to jump up in the number 4 or 5, bypassing PTGC and UFO. And, the ZKX wallet, when's the market going to start pricing that, right? It's got to ask yourself. It'll be from now. And, of course, will there be a bit of a battle between the top tier projects? PDC and PCock. PCock were quite discounted after the rotation, so there's a lot of upside there, particularly with the wallet coming and the airdrop, right? It's going to be an airdrop of the tokens, so that's going to be in play. We'll watch that play out over the next couple of weeks. And everything else is pretty much down, so it's not yet recovered. And ProveX there sitting still at 0001, so not too much change. A little bit up, slightly up, but not too much there. Now ZKP, we're going to look at that, right? We were going to look at ZKP. ZKP here, a staking project, reflection project here for ProveX. So you buy the ZKP, you stake it, and then you earn ProveX. Let's go to the website. I don't think I went to the website yesterday. So it's Zero Knowledge Printer. This is from Kairos from the Emmett Farms. Zero Knowledge Printer there. Stake ZKP and earn ProveX. Zero Knowledge Printer is a reflection style token, 5% of every trade. So it's taken away. You can start staking. It's got the auto reflections. 5% of all ZKP volume is used to buy ProveX and reward stakers automatically. So that's pretty cool. So that's pretty much it. It's volume driven, very key. So relying on the volume. Looks like we've got 15k volume today. Yesterday I think we had 30k. So it will move around, but getting in early. ProveX is early, so if this maintains its awareness and all that, then it's also got the Hart's law linked into it a bit. Liquidity 20k. So yeah, it's taken away 15k. So we'll see how that goes, but certainly it's in early and could be interesting in terms of value creation. We'll see. Obviously, early players are still enjoying the early divs, so just the way it goes. That is the ZKP. We've got a little start staking. Let's have a look at that. Oh, nice interface. Look at that, beautiful. Stake the ZKP, not bad. Got the APR calculator, yeah, just like Emmett Farms. Weekly at 2.25% at the current volume, I guess. 2.2% return of capital, 10% a month, 218% yearly. So that is that. So there's $114,000 worth of ZKP in there at the moment. They got some farms as well. So you got the farms will probably be on the Emmett Farm, yeah. So Emmett Farm has farms for ZKP as well. So it's kind of cool. It's taking a little second to render, but it's got some farms there. ZKP Pulse, ZKP ProveX, ZKP PulseX. So those are the three farms you can, as alternatives, you can go into and earn yield. I wonder what the yields are. 1129%. What the heck? I'm assuming that you don't have the tax when you stake it. That's the question. You provide LP anyway. This is for LP. So you have to provide ZKP and Pulse into the liquidity pool. I'm assuming that there's no tax on liquidity, but you have to go ask Kairos. Maybe it's on a FAQ. I don't know, but and then you put the PLP in, and at the moment there's only there's $3,900 in there, $3,700, and the APR is 1,100%. So that's pretty juicy. You got a 218% APR over here. So it is currently just over 5 times, or about 5 times, let's say, 5 times the yield. See how long that lasts for. That's crazy. That's awesome. What are they paying out in? Is it ProveX? I don't know. Stake and rewards. Is it Emmett? You're earning Emmett. Reward for duration. ZKP. Are you earning ZKP? Are you earning ZKP? Okay. So they've got other farms as well, ProveX and PulseX, and there too. All right, so that is pretty much that. So I said we would have a look at that. We've done that. The chart's holding up still pretty well, especially compared to the ProveX, which is the reward token. So it has rolled over a bit, but it's still holding up pretty well, I would say. We're up at 00035. We're at 00022, bouncing off just below 2,000 there. We'll see how it goes. If we get another pump in the old ProveX, then I guess this is going to get an old pump as well. Pumpity pump. Not financial advice. Do your own due diligence. Obviously speculative, like most things in the cryptos. What's else there? ZKP says, let me scroll back up here. Let me scroll. Bag says Bullocks is the current buy. We're not even familiar with that token, Bullocks. I'm not even familiar with that one. Is it on PulseChain? No. ZKP also has 5,000 ProveX LP. Yep. Okay. Cool. That's good to know. And I don't know what happened there. We got some big refresh or something. Baseline says you get taxed when you add to LP, but not for staking. Okay, that's good to know. So you get taxed on the LP when you put your ZKX into the LP, but not on staking there. All right, cool. So the advantage there. All right, Bullocks is on PulseChain, says Moneybags. All right, cool. Bullocks is on Moneybags. I don't know if we've looked at that before. All right, so that's pretty much where we are at the moment, guys. Got a little bit of a comeback there for some of the premier tokens, PCock and PCock LP pairs, as well as UFO there. Bullocks is the mascot for ProveX. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, I haven't seen it on the trending, so that I recall. So I don't know if I've talked about it here. All right, so that is pretty much it for the market updates. So pretty laid back session, but yeah.